What's good, crypto? I'm your host Marvin, here to bring you the daily scoop on everything that's going on in crypto. Today has been quite a crazy day already. It's about lunchtime here, Eastern Standard Time, and Bitcoin has been kind of had an insane day. And actually, today and yesterday, it's been quite volatile. And I think there's a lot of things stirring up in regards to the hash rate, in regards to the news, people trying to sell, get out, and I think there's a lot of confusion in terms of like where people stand and how people feel. So let's kind of talk about what's going on, what I think Bitcoin is doing. I'm super excited. I think Bitcoin is right on track and what we need to see from Bitcoin for us to continue to move. But everything, the market is looking fantastic. Just remember that Monday through Friday, we come here to educate ourselves when it comes to investing in crypto to make life-changing wealth. So if you like that, if you want to be a part of it, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that notification little bell on the channel so you guys get notifications when there's new episodes. And then if you're listening on the podcast, make sure to follow it, share it, tune in every day. I know my schedule's been a little bit crazy. I've been insanely busy, but I'm going to try and get back tomorrow on 7 a.m., 8 a.m., recording time, so that way it's up by 9 a.m., 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. when you guys are starting your day. But let's dive in. Let's take a look at what's going on. The crypto market cap is currently sitting at 2.11 trillion. That's really, really good. It's good to see the entire crypto market to be over 2 trillion. And right now, the crypto fear and greed index is at 54, which is neutral. This is kind of signifying to me that a lot of people are a little bit nervous since of the recent volatility of us being at 53, going down and touching 39 very, very little, like just for a brief second. I think we hit 39,600 for maybe all of a minute, and then we blasted off, and then we kept hitting 40,000, and it truly showed to be a great area of support. And now we're kind of moving back, so people are kind of fearful, or maybe more neutral on whether or not they should develop a position, sell at 50,000, or don't know what's going on. Again, it's always good to buy when there is fear. And it's funny, you can see that, for the month of September, we had this valley, and now we're starting to climb ourselves back out in this fear and greed index. Last month we were at 72, last week we were at 26, and I think we actually bottomed out at 24, which was extreme fear. Now we're in neutral. So last week and just the month of September was a good time to buy. Basically, like anytime it was around 42,000, there were days where you could have picked it up. You didn't have to catch the dip or the bottom or snipe it. You could have caught in at almost any time. But right now, things are recovering and moving in a great way. Even as I was recording this, we're now at 48,339. Ethereum is getting close to $3,400 at 3,366. Binance Coin at 425. Good to see that at over 400, honestly. Cardano at 221. Solana about $170. I think it was at like 176, so good to see that. XRP over $1. Polkadot at 31. Dogecoin had a really big pump today. And by big pump, I mean like maybe 10%. It went from like 20 cents to like 23 cents. Terra crushing it at 48. Uniswap 25. It's a lot of good movers right now in the market. We got a lot of green. Things are just moving in the right direction. Polygon is $1.28. Still a great deal if you haven't bought in any. VeChain is now at 11 cents. Things are moving in the right direction. I want things to move back to where they were at 53,000, but patience, everybody. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin obviously leads the market. And if you guys like the shirt, this is Johnny Cupcakes. I've been following Johnny Cupcakes since I was like a freshman in high school, which was like 13 years ago, which is crazy to think. Make sure to check them out. It's one of my favorite things. But right now, Bitcoin is at 48,266. We actually went up to 49,000 yesterday, and I think we just hit a lot of resistance. And if you look at the days before, even weeks before, we were bouncing off this $48,000 level. On September 18th, we were actually at 48,000. We got up to 49,000, and then we got the big, I think this was mid-March, September, so I think this is the Evergrande news, or this is the Cascade liquidations effect. It was one of the two. I think it was the Evergrande news, and with the SEC and everything. And then we bounced all the way down. As you can see right now, we are in the middle of fighting through this resistance at 48,000. There's a lot of resistance here between 48,000 and 48,000, 49,000 basically. The 48 to 49,000 is a big area of resistance. Once we get past 49,000, I think we'll hit 50,000. We're going to have some more resistance up there just because it's a psychological level. But what we really need to do at this point is we need to get past $53,000. Right now, that is the next biggest goal. So we need to see about 10% gain from here and get over 53,000. So that way we're out of this pattern, because right now we're still developing higher lows right now. We're breaking out and developing a new local high within these last couple of weeks, but 53,000 is really what we want to break through, so that way we can start working towards 60,000 and 63,000. So right now, I'd love to see Bitcoin kind of get through the 48,000, 49,000, which it's doing right now. Maybe because I'm recording, it's pumping like insanely right now. I don't know what is going on. But it's at $48,800, $800 up since the beginning of me recording the video. But right now, Bitcoin is looking really, really good. As long as we continue to battle resistance and continue to move forward, I think Bitcoin is moving in the right direction. But I think the next area we want to see us break through is where we are right now, 48,000, because this is where we were kind of like hanging out a couple of weeks ago, and that's where we've had a lot of price action, but we really want to get past 53,000. So I know that's a big order to fill, but we got some work to do. We still got some work to do. Once we break 53,000, I think we're going to see ourselves set up for a really, really strong month. And I'm not the only one who thinks that. So does Plan B. I want to bring this up right now because Plan B called August, September, and now is calling for October for base target and closing at $63,000. So he predicted in June that August we would close at 47, September would close at 43, October 63, and this is closing. So this means we could be at $70,000 by the end of the month, and then close at 63, and then work our way towards 98K later this year. In December, 135K. Everybody's talking about this. Let me know if you guys agree, it's really, really exciting. Some other good news. Futures-based Bitcoin ETF has a 75% chance of approval. A futures ETF is great, but it's not good as a fully backed up Bitcoin. A fully backed up Bitcoin ETF is backed up by the actual Bitcoin, whereas this, it's kind of like paper, it's like an IOU. But in comments this weekend, senior ETF analyst from Bloomberg, Eric Balchunas, hope I didn't butcher that, said that the United States futures ETF is likely on schedule for a regulatory green light. There's been various applications, as we all know, but instead of being allowed or denied this month, will now be processed in November. According to Balchunas, however, the futures-based ETF are more likely than not to pass muster in the coming weeks. So maybe we could see, a full ETF, a Bitcoin ETF in November being announced, but we could be seeing a futures ETF in the coming weeks. The futures ETF filed under the 40 Act, which Gary Gensler loves, are very much alive and likely to schedule. We think 75% chance approved in October for a futures ETF, and then maybe November we could see a fully backed ETF be announced, and that's what brings Bitcoin from 63, which Plan B announced, all the way to 90, which would be a 50% increase from 60. What else? Subsequently, we start to see filings under the Investment Company Act with regard to exchange-traded fund ETFs seeking to invest in CME-traded Bitcoin futures. He concluded in remarks at the Future of Asset Management North America Conference, when combined with the other federal securities laws, the 40 Act, significant investor protections for mutual funds and ETFs. I look forward to the stats review. So, we could see a futures ETF by the end of this month, which would be crazy, and that could be what brings Bitcoin up to new all-time highs. We come down, we close at 63 this month, and if plan B is accurate again, man, a lot of heads are going to be turning. It's going to be crazy. And lastly, I saw this article. The Bitcoin bull run has at least 6 months to go. 5 things to watch in Bitcoin this week. Though 50,000 may not come easily, but zooming out, there's barely a bear in the house when it comes to Bitcoin's price. Markets brace for a tumultuous ride this October. Stocks were flat in September, but the first few days of the new month have already shown good news for Bitcoin to outperform the macro pack. So we've seen that the DXY, the dollar index, the DXY is the dollar index. I can tell you in just a sec. Currency index, there we go. Basically determines the strength of the dollar, and it's not correlated, but it's definitely like, you notice these trends when the dollar does well and goes up. When people are holding on to their dollars, Bitcoin tends to go down. But when it goes down, the dollar index, the DXY, crypto tends to go up. And right now, 2 days ago in a live stream, the DXY was hitting a red box of resistance, which should reverse soon and start a correction. This correction could take a while and is bullish for crypto. So hitting that resistance, we saw the DXY kind of start working its way back up, but it hit this resistance and it's going on its way down. If the DXY goes down, we could see Bitcoin run. Again, it's not 100% correlated, but it goes without saying, if the dollar goes down, crypto goes up. And it's just been a trend, something to keep an eye out for. So we're seeing a lot of really good things. Fellow trader Pentosha, meanwhile, likened the situation to last year's Q4 activity when it was 20,000, not 64,000. I don't really care for low time frames. I care about the macro market structure. So remember, when in doubt, zoom out. And Bitcoin is performing very, very well. Since we bottomed out earlier this year, that the weirdness, my computer tends to stop recording for me for no reason. But we bottomed out here at 40,000. We hit the bottom of the pi cycle top. And now we have rallied 20% since breaking out of the ascending triangle per rep capital. And also, we're starting to see the hash rate starting to hit all-time highs. There's been a lot of Iranian miners starting to go back up. So we're starting to see Bitcoiners starting to kind of go back ever since the China FUD, ever since China kind of banned Bitcoin mining. We've seen them go to Middle Eastern countries right outside of China. And we saw that Iran, there was a major push, and recently a lot of the miners turned back on. Here's another quote. China kicked out nearly 90% of Bitcoin miners in the country earlier this year. Hash rate fell about 50% as a result. Only a few months later, we are almost back to an all-time high. Only since May, so it's only been about 5 months, and it just shows how fast things can change and go back and just continue to move forward. People are saying that there's still 6 months of the bull run left. Plan B stock to flow chart says that, again, the floor for October is 63,000, a whopping 98 for November. Zooming out, the picture remains rosier for Bitcoin bulls. In his opinion, we are midway through, no signs of weakness in the red yet. Note the color overlay is not months to the halving, but an on-chain signal. So could we see Bitcoin continue to move up and maybe even hit $200,000 and see a lengthening cycle? We will see, but if we got the Bitcoin ETF, the futures ETF, if we start to hear companies, publicly traded companies like Apple, Amazon, buying and purchasing Bitcoin, I think that could send us all the way up to $150,000 to $200,000 Bitcoin, personally. Let me know what you guys think. I think that we could probably see $150,000 to $200,000 Bitcoin by maybe February or March, as long as we get all the right notifications in terms of, like, companies purchasing Bitcoin, having it on their balance sheet, and the ETF. Love to know what you guys think. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We're off to a good start for the week, and I'm excited to see what's to come. Peace.